Hey there. In this video, I am going to share with you the 5 top strategies for running a law firm successfully, that is having successful law practice management. Now, I don't know about you, but when I first opened my own law practice, and I'm talking many years ago now, in the spring of 2001, I thought that as long as I knew how to do client work, that everything would go along swimmingly. Well, little did I know that what I really needed to understand was not only how to do the client work and keeping my clients happy, but the important role of law firm practice management. And that's why I am creating this video to share with you so that you can learn from my many years of experience and you don't have to make really dumb mistakes like I did. Ha! So, number one, the first thing, and I don't know why I didn't know this, but I didn't know this, is that you want to have checklists and workflows for virtually everything that you do in your law practice, that you do more than once. And what I mean by that, for example, is like if you're opening a file, what are the steps that need to be taken to opening a file? Or for client intake, what are the steps that need to be taken? In my firm, for example, if somebody contacts us looking for a lawyer, that triggers a workflow where our assistant notifies that person, sends them some initial information. If that person wants to book a time with a lawyer, that it's booked, which then triggers other steps about getting the intake documents to them, their ID, et cetera, et cetera. So having the workflows or having checklists, that ensures that mistakes aren't made. It's really, really important. What they've discovered is that when airlines started to incorporate checklists before flights were to take off, well, the risk of crashes went way, way down. Same with in operating rooms. When checklists were incorporated, people didn't have to remember things. They just go through the checklist. And then what happens is, of course, that they don't forget a thing. Oh, and by the way, you're going to want to stick around to the end of this video because I'm saving the best to the very last. The second thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to expand your team. Now, I get it. Maybe you're starting out as a sole practitioner and you're thinking, oh, okay, if I hire a person right out of the gate, then I'm just going to be working to pay their salary. I get it. Makes total and complete sense. So what you want to do is expand your team as you can afford it, as you can go. So for example, one lawyer I work with, she is a sole practitioner, does virtually everything herself, except she does not touch her accounting. So all of the billing, accounting, the trust stuff, that's all done with the assistance of a bookkeeper. So it's a relatively small investment to take a huge headache off my client's shoulders. This person I work with and I coach. As your practice is growing and growing and growing, now she's going, well, it doesn't really make sense that I'm doing client intake anymore. And she's getting someone to do that on a very part-time basis. The great news is that you can get great assistance from people who you don't necessarily have to hire them full-time. You can hire them by way of contract or part-time. The thing is, eventually, what ends up happening as your practice grows and expands and you get more and more successful is it doesn't make sense for you to do the client intake, or it doesn't make sense that you're standing at the photocopier anymore. And what you want to do is you want to be working in your zone of genius and, of course, billing your clients for the time and your expertise that you're spending. Now, the third thing that you really want to make sure that you do is that you utilize software. I am so blown away sometimes. You know, I often do mediation and arbitrations with this one meat arbiter who I have a lot of respect for, and they are a complete genius when it comes to that kind of work. However, when it comes time to drafting up the agreement, they will sit there and write out in longhand the agreement's terms and then hand it off to their assistant, and then their assistant will type it out, and then it'll come back to the meat arbiter and they will do some review and then hand it back to their assistant. Oh my gosh, it is so inefficient and exhausting for everybody who's there who wants to get an agreement signed, of course. And so what you want to do is you want to make sure that you get good software. Now, the places where I would start for great software would be, first of all, Clio. I use Clio law practice management software, which connects to QuickBooks Online, all of that, so that you can actually have a central place that's on the cloud, but secure on the cloud, where you can have your client information, your file information, documents saved. You can share information with other lawyers, with your clients. Really important piece of software. And so Clio, and yes, I am an affiliate for Clio, and I'm going to put my affiliate link in the notes here. But also, what I want you to also know is that it's great software, and it's what my firm uses with great success. Oh, hey, it's me, interrupting a little bit because I want videos like this to reach more people. So if you are enjoying what you see, if you're finding it helpful, please hit the subscribe button, which is somewhere up there. And also tell me, what was the biggest takeaway you had with respect to this video? Leave it in the comments below and I will answer every comment, every question, because that's what I do. The other thing is, if you have a website, which I hope you do, because that is the front door to your business, is I use Solo Build It as my website. They're quick loading. They are not buggy, all of that. And again, I'll put a link to my affiliate for that as well. For my entire The Better Divorce company, which includes my law firm, Be the Best Divorce Lawyer and the Better Divorce Project, our 3 sites are all run on SBI, and wow, what great sites they are. People are able to find information, loads quickly, it's not buggy, looks great on mobile, blah, blah, blah. I could go on. Now, the next thing that you want to do, number 4. Now, this is super, super important, because the thing is that, and this is a mistake I've made in the past, I had this really great software, let's use Clio as an example, but I wasn't using it to its maximum capability. And so what would happen is, I mean, Clio has great training and all of that, but I'd look and I'd think, oh, 8 hours of training videos, like, I just couldn't even bring myself to sit there and go through all of these training videos, much of them being irrelevant to my day-to-day work, and relevant in terms of my entire team, but not for necessarily for my job. So what ended up happening is I had Clio for like 2 years without utilizing it to its maximum capability. What I did was I actually ended up hiring a consultant to help me discover and learn how to maximize Clio and its capability. Since I've done that, wow, I have saved on staff time. I've been able to create really great templates that we use over and over again. We've been getting really good at creating workflows. And I've actually been able to cancel other kinds of software that I was paying for because Clio did it all for me anyway. That's the thing, is you want to make sure that you not only get the great software, but that you utilize it to its full capability. Now, I promised you that I would tell you, save the best for last in terms of running your law firm successfully, having that successful law practice management. The 5th thing, which is the most important, and I already alluded to it in the last tip when I said maximize your firm's software. What's really important is that you don't want to do it all yourself. And what I mean by that, I'm not talking necessarily about team, but what I'm talking about is who, not how. This is what lawyers do most of the time, okay? They go, oh, I really have to get my website up and running, but God, I just don't want to sit there and wait and do it and learn how to do it. And so what ends up happening? A year goes by, 18 months goes by, 2 years goes by, and they don't have a great website at all. It's slow loading, potential clients can't find them, goes on and on, right? The thing is with the who, not how concept, it's like, who can I get to help me, who is an expert, who is a genius? I'm using websites as an example, who is a genius about building out that website. Because the thing is, well, and using websites as an example, you can get a really gorgeous website for less than $2,000 now. If you go to pathwaylegal.ca, which is my law firm's site, well, if you look at it right now, you will see that I spent, $1,800 getting that site built by professionals. If it was up to me, that site would be sitting there stagnant with nothing great happening at all. But what I did was I invested, I think it was about 1,800 Canadian or something like that, for it to be built out in such a gorgeous way. What that's done is that has brought in way more than $1,800 worth of business to my law firm. Going back to the example I said with Clio, in terms of not utilizing it very well, I kept thinking, I'm not utilizing it very well, but I have to get there to utilize it, and I've got to spend the time doing it. So all I did was feel guilty all the time, but I wasn't getting around to doing it either. So when I actually got it together, reached out, hired a consultant, well, boom, chakalaka. This person said, this, and this is what you need to know. And let me help you set up this, and this. Boom, it was done. And for a fraction of the time, energy, and cost I was spending not utilizing Clio to its best ability, because it's a very robust piece of software. And so think about that. Now, the who, not how concept, not my idea, comes from Benjamin Hardy. He is a very smart psychologist, and he's written a number of books with Dan Sullivan, who is one of the owners of Strategic Coach, who Dan Sullivan has worked with very successful entrepreneurs for more than 40 years. And he's collaborated, Dan and Ben have collaborated on some work. And the who, not how concept is a very powerful work. So it's a book. Feel free to get it, listen to it, read it. It is a great thing. So in terms of that who, not how strategy, and this is why it's my favorite, is that often I'll be sitting there thinking, oh, I've got to do, I don't know, such and such. And I just don't get around to it. It's not how my brain works. I don't want to bother with it. And again, getting someone to who to help you do something rather than trying to figure out how to do it can be so life-changing. And not only with respect to your law practice management, but also with respect to other areas of your life. This is Val. I am so glad you're here. And I'm really hoping that what I'm sharing with you in this video is really helpful for you and your success for your own successful law practice management. If you found this video helpful, and I hope you did, please give it a thumbs up. Because if you do that, then this video will be able to reach more people. And as well, if you want to stay in closer touch with me, please ring the little bell icon so that you can subscribe to this channel. This is Val. Much, much love.